Lighthouses. They stand tall and proud, beacons of hope against the crashing waves and darkest nights. But what if those stone walls, meant to protect, hold secrets more chilling than any storm? What if the lonely lives of their keepers, watching the endless sea, sometimes ended in terror? Tonight, let's pull back the curtain on 3 true stories, tales whispered by the wind and etched into the very stones of these solitary towers. Get ready to feel a shiver down your spine, because these aren't just ghost stories, they're echoes of real fear. The eerie vanishing of the Flannan Isles keepers. Imagine a small, rocky island, far out in the wild North Atlantic. It's December 1900, and on the Flannan Isles, 3 lighthouse keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Duckett, and Donald MacArthur, are doing their duty. Their job is vital: keep the light burning, guiding ships safely past treacherous rocks. A passing ship, the Arch-Tor, noticed something strange. The light wasn't on. This was highly unusual. Days later, a relief ship, the Hesperus, arrived. The captain, Jim Harvey, felt a knot of worry in his stomach. No flag was flying, no one came out to greet them. An eerie silence hung over the island. A small boat was launched. Joseph Moore, the main relief keeper, landed and climbed the steep path to the lighthouse. The door was unlocked. A half-eaten meal sat on the table, as if the men had just stepped away for a moment. But they hadn't. Their oilskins, vital for the harsh weather, were still hanging on their hooks. This meant they had gone outside into a storm without protection. The logbook was found. The last entries were chilling. They spoke of severe winds the like of which I have never seen. Then, a strange line, James Duckett cursed and Donald MacArthur cried. But where were the men? They were never seen again. No bodies, no signs of a struggle, just an empty lighthouse with a dinner waiting. What happened? Some say a giant rogue wave swept them away. Others whisper of a sea monster. And then there are the darker tales, that one keeper went mad and threw the others into the sea, before jumping himself. Or perhaps, something unseen, something ancient that lived on those remote islands, finally claimed them. The mystery of the Flannan Isles remains one of the most disturbing vanishings in maritime history. The light still shines there, but many say you can still hear the whispers of the lost keepers on the wind. Our next story takes us across the Atlantic, to sunny Florida. The St. Augustine Lighthouse is a beautiful, tall structure with black and white stripes. Today, it's a popular museum, but for many years, it held a dark secret within its walls. The first lighthouse keeper on the site, way back in the 1820s, wasn't so lucky. His name was Joseph Andrew, and he was working on the original wooden tower. One day, while painting, the scaffolding he was on snapped, and he fell to his death. His spirit, many believe, never left. Visitors and staff have reported strange cold spots, phantom footsteps, and the distinct smell of cigar smoke. Joseph was known to enjoy a good cigar. But the most disturbing events center around a group of young girls. In the 1870s, the lighthouse was being rebuilt. The project superintendent, a man named Hezekiah Pitt, lived on the grounds with his family, including his 2 young daughters, Mary and Eliza. One afternoon, while playing on a cart used to haul materials, the cart broke loose and rolled down a hill, crashing into the ocean. Both Mary and Eliza drowned. Since then, people have reported hearing the laughter and footsteps of young girls inside the lighthouse. Lights turn on and off by themselves. Toys placed in the keeper's house are found moved or even played with. Many believe it's Mary and Eliza, still playing in the lighthouse they loved so much, their innocent spirits forever tied to that tragic spot. Even more chilling are the reports of a shadowy figure, often seen on the winding staircase or at the very top of the lamp room. Some believe this is the lingering presence of Joseph Andrew, forever watching over his light. Is it just imagination, or are the echoes of past tragedies truly trapped within the stone and iron of the St. Augustine Lighthouse? Many who have visited swear the chill they feel isn't from the sea breeze. Our final tale is perhaps the most bizarre and truly horrifying. We go back to the wild waters off the coast of Wales, to the lonely Smalls Lighthouse. This lighthouse was unique because it was built on a tiny rock, far from land, in the late 1700s. It was a miserable place to be, and only 2 keepers were stationed there at a time. This arrangement proved to be a recipe for disaster. In 1801, 2 keepers, Thomas Howell and Thomas Griffith, were on duty. They didn't like each other much. In fact, they argued constantly. One day, Griffith became very sick. Howell tried to care for him, but Griffith got worse and worse, until finally, he died. Now, imagine Howell's situation. He was stranded alone, miles from land, with the body of a man he hated. If he threw the body into the sea, people might think he murdered Griffith. If he kept it in the small lighthouse, the smell would become unbearable. So, Howell came up with a gruesome plan. He built a makeshift coffin for Griffith and hung it outside the lighthouse window. He hoped the sea would wash it away, or at least keep the smell from overpowering the small living quarters. But the weather turned terrible. A fierce storm raged for weeks. The ropes holding the coffin snapped, and Griffith's body came crashing back against the lighthouse walls. Imagine the horror. The coffin broke open, and the body, tossed by the waves, kept slamming against the glass, making it impossible for Howell to sleep or even think straight. To make matters worse, the storm damaged the lighthouse, and the light began to flicker. Howell, by now, was losing his mind. He was starving, exhausted, and haunted by the sight of his dead partner's body repeatedly hitting the window. When a relief ship finally arrived months later, they found Howell almost insane. He was rambling, his hair had turned white from fright, and he was nearly dead himself.